Welcome to the 2019 version of Post Game on the Pitch. To my right is Stephen Agan of Radio Cascadia, and to my left is John Marshall of Radio Cascadia. I'm Osvita Maria of CascadiaSports.net. Yes, we got the Cascadia thing going on, but what we really have is a 4-1 Sounder win today, and first time they've won, Stephen, 2015, a home opener, correct?
Just an opener period. Yeah, it's been a while since Sounders have been able to get off to this hot start, and as we know, it's been the slow beginning that has plagued the club each of the last 3 seasons. They've had to have those fantastic comebacks in the second half of each year, including 2018's historic run where they put together the best half-season record in MLS history. Fortunate to start off well tonight, get the 3 points.
What did they do? How did they get those 3 points, Stephen?
Well, you know, Maz, they were able to overcome a little bit of adversity early when Bertone hit a fantastic volley from about 20 yards out right here in the south end of CenturyLink Field. But really, Sounders were dominant from beginning to end, and except for a couple moments where they had to weather a few storms from the expansion side, they were really dominant in terms of just about everything they did. I think people point to the connectivity between Rodriguez and Ladero as the big highlight of the night.
And of course, favorite son makes good with a brace.
Yeah, Jordan Morris makes his regular season return to CenturyLink Field, gets a brace in the first half. The first one comes on the switches sides with Rodriguez, makes some nice move, gets maybe a fortunate deflection as well, but that ball's probably going in anyways. The second goal finishes with his left foot from the right side, something that you're not used to seeing from Morris, but a beautiful finish. He looked like he was just ready to play out there tonight. He was from minute 1 until he came off around 75th minute or so, really giving us all for the club. Really put in a really hard shift out there. It was a fantastic performance from Morris tonight.
John, one last point on Morris, because he was on the left side first half, second half he was on the right side, correct?
Yeah. He and Victor were switching between the game. Schmetzer even said he's fine with his players doing that. He wants to give them that freedom as long as they know the role that they're switching to and the responsibilities. That if you're going to switch to another position, you got to know that the defensive and offensive responsibilities being there. And he said, he's a little bit more comfortable with guys in the wings doing that because it's a fairly similar situation there. But it worked really well. It seemed like the Sounders were kind of leaning more towards the left side of the field with Brad Smith, Victor Rodriguez, much of the game on there. And when Morris moved over to that side as well, it worked really well. They just had a lot of speed there. Brad Smith is real quick, and it really feeds off Victor Rodriguez as well as Jordan Morris.
And that's the connectivity you talked about, that in terms of the middle between Ladero and how important that Victor Rodriguez is really important to this team.
To me, it looks like the Sounders are dangerous in attack when they get Rodriguez and Ladero within 15 or 20 yards of each other, passing each other the ball. And when you're able to get them in a quadrant of the field connecting, that's where Sounders are just at their very best. And you saw it tonight. They consistently diced through Cincinnati when they were able to do that. And I think you can make an argument that all 3 of their first half goals came directly from that connection. For Sounders fans in general, I think the one thing you can take away from tonight, be really, really happy and excited about, all 4 attacking players, all 4 primarily attacking players, got off to a great start, got into a groove. Rui Diaz gets his goal, Morris has the brace, Ladero and Rodriguez are connected. It's an ideal start from the Sounders attack from that perspective.
Except for one man, the gaffer wasn't happy. Brian Schmetzer wants perfection from day one. And so we won the post game, and your takeaway from what Schmetzer said about them having to play better.
I think it's a fair takeaway. I'm gonna touch on something else Schmetzer said in his post-game, Maz, and that's that what John was talking about. He gives the players the freedom to choose when they switch on the field. I don't hear that very often. Most of the time, that's a sideline decision, isn't it? You see coaches tell players, go switch for 10 minutes, this side, that side. But he's got Victor Rodriguez, Jordan Morris just back. I look at the ownership this team, this roster has over this club, over its identity, and I see a team that's going to be very, very successful because of it. I know that's indirect on your question there, but Schmetzer might not be happy with the performance. I'm happy with the cerebral play from the Seattle Sounders.
You actually answered very well, because I think there's a high expectation for this team, and he's saying, you guys go do it, but here's what we need to do, because he mentioned it, right? Yeah. Because of the way the playoff system, they're trying to get to 1, 2, or 3, and they want to win the championship. Fair enough, John?
Oh, totally. And I think that, they had several counterattacking opportunities tonight that they didn't capitalize on, where they had 2 3-on-2 and stalled out, deflected, blocked the shot, and didn't capitalize on those opportunities. And they need to be more precise, more dominant, when they get those opportunities against clubs that are going to be a little bit more dangerous. To be honest, Cincinnati expansion team, this is their first MLS game. They're not the best team in the league right now. They're probably towards the bottom half of the table, and a 4-1 win is what you need to do. You're supposed to do against a side like this. When you get the teams like Atlanta, New York City, New York Red Bulls, LAFC, Sporting Kansas City, the cream of the crop,
and whatnot.
Timbers and all that, the cream of the crop of the league, you need to have precise, really dominant performances out there if you want to be champions at the end of the year. So I understand his dissatisfaction with tonight. It's a great performance, a great start. You got to finish those chances. You got to be more clinical, more aggressive, more just ferocious, and really closing out those games and putting up a lot of goals.
Fair enough, and we'll know a week from today, right?
That's right, Colorado Rapids here at CenturyLink
come
Field.
here. So for post-game on the pitch, Stephen Hagan, thank you for Radio Cascadia. John Marshall, Radio Cascadia. I'm Masvidamar Aaron. Thank you all for joining us for post-game on the pitch.